know? So when those emotions, I feel like that's gonna be loud. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. I know it has. And the reason is honestly similar to the reason that you clicked on this video, is that I feel like a lot of us have kind of been feeling burnt out. I have come here to share 5 things that I think will be super helpful to help you guys get out of burnt out, because I've recently kind of shifted out of that ick that I was in for the past 2 weeks. And I don't always view burnt out, I don't always view that as a bad thing, because honestly, like, I feel like life is all about ebbs and flows, you know, peaks and valleys. So listen up and let's get right into the video. And before we get into the tips, I actually want to speak about a quote that I read and always kind of remind myself with every time that I do feel like this. So the quote is, "You often feel tired not because that you've done too much, because you've done too little of what sparks the light in you." Sometimes you have to ask yourself, yeah, like, am I really not doing a lot of what makes me happy? Am I really not doing what I know I should be? And so that's kind of what I have to tell myself every time that I do feel these emotions, or every time that I do kind of run into that mental block, because a lot of it is a mental block, and a lot of it is sometimes us just not listening to that inner voice inside of our heads. This actually brings us to our first tip, which is accept and acknowledge. Because until you actually accept that you are in a burnout, you're going to be living in denial or like a victim mentality. And that's just not where we really want to place our energy. And the mind is so good at BSing. Like, I forgot what I listened to. It was either a podcast, I think it was a podcast. But they were just stating how, like, your mind will literally be like, I'm fine. Like, it just come up with all of these excuses and stuff like that, while your heart is literally like begging for you to acknowledge it and begging for you to listen. And so that's kind of why I'm bringing this up for our first thing, because until you, like I said, until you accept and acknowledge it, you're going to kind of still be in that stagnant place. And that's just not where we want to be. We don't have time for that. We really don't. So for tip number 2, after you've acknowledged it and accepted it, it is time to reflect and try to find the lesson or the reason why you're in this downtime. Because you're here for a reason, and the thing is, you're already here, so might as well try to figure out what got you here in the first place, and then what you could also do to avoid it in the future. Not that it's a bad thing. I feel like rest and reflection is very important. As we know, like, say in the gym, like, you can't just keep hitting the gym every single day and expect results. Like, you literally have to train the muscle and then allow the muscle to rest and regrow to actually see results. Same with your mind, same with everything else in life. Number 3 is to change something up, like start a new morning routine, a new skincare routine, a new habit. Like, a lot of the reason why I feel like I feel burnt out or have felt stagnant or burnt out in the past is because I feel like I'm doing a lot of the same things, and I feel like that kind of drives me mentally. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm going crazy when it feels like I'm living the same day on repeat. And so that's why I'm really big into change. Like, I'm actually starting 75 hard. Yes, I've been inspired lately to go after that. And it's funny too, because in the past, like, that's just not something that I saw myself doing, or something that maybe I didn't even think that I was capable of doing. But then recently I'm like, you know what, like, I really want to get into it. And everyone has different rules for 75 hard as well, and I'm gonna probably make a whole series about that as well, but stay tuned for that. The next thing is focus on the positives, or I know that you guys have probably heard it a million times, is gratitude is the best attitude. And the funny thing about this is that, like, it really is a lot easier said than done. Like, I feel like when you're in it and you're feeling either espresso depresso or just in your burnt out episode, like, you're really not trying to hear, like, think positive. That's just like the last thing that's on your mind. But the thing is, like, it really works. Like, I feel like when you have a negative thought, that just makes room for another negative thought, and then it kind of makes you, it puts you more into a negative emotion, and then you're in a negative mood. It's a whole mental thing that we can go down for the reason why it is so valuable to just understand that thinking positive is super powerful. Like, you know, the brain controls our entire body, so just by changing your thought patterns, you can change your mood. Yeah, it's deep, but really just really just think positive. And honestly, one thing that I do to practice gratitude is I actually got a gratitude jotter from, I think it was Home Goods or Marshalls, one of those. I love those stores. And you can practice write down the day, and it's like 8 things that you're grateful for. But one thing that I also saw was that like 3 big things and 3 small things every day that you're grateful for. I've heard that one is really good as well. Okay, and our last tip, this last tip is actually kind of going to bring us back into the quote that we started with. It is find or figure out what sparks the light in you. Like really sit down with yourself, or really just kind of journal, or just spend time with yourself to figure out like what is it that I love to do, like what makes me happy, what fills me with joy, and also make that a priority. Because like you can sit here all day and ponder and twiddle your thumbs about what makes you happy, but if you don't actually take action towards that, you're gonna find yourself in another burnt out episode. And it's just, why be in a loop? Why be in this like repeat cycle when you don't have to? And it really is just a big form of self-love and self-care, of making sure that you prioritize what does make you happy, and like I said, what fills that spark in you. That quote in general, and I'm gonna say it again for you guys, one sec, is you often feel tired, not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what sparks the light in you. Like that's all that needs to be said. Like, damn, when you really do sit back, you really do think like, man, like maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not doing what I need to be doing for my happiness. And also, once you're aware of that, it's your responsibility at that point to do something about it, because ain't nobody else is gonna do it for you. So that's basically the video. What kind of inspired me to make this video in the first place is because I have been going through my own little burnt out episode myself. Like I said, I went from trying to do 2 videos a week to just too many videos a week. So if you're watching this and you're going through a burnt out like series of yourself, just know that you're not alone. Know that I understand, and also that it won't last forever. And honestly, this kind of just made me reflect and realize that, yeah, like I might not be doing enough of what I love to do. And so that also inspired change. So expect some new content coming out soon. I kind of realized that I wasn't necessarily doing what I love as much. It's not that I don't love making content. I just want to kind of move out of self-improvement in a way. It's not gonna end. I'm not gonna stop doing self-improvement, but I do understand that a lot of what I talk about and a lot of my wisdom or knowledge does come from my own experiences. And I do want to take those lessons and experiences and give them to you just for another stream of learning that you guys can tap into. But I don't want you guys just to think that I have all the answers, because I really don't. I'm just a 21-year-old that is just still figuring it out. I also wanted to add, like, feeling burnt out is a gift. Like, the emotions that I have been feeling, I see it as a good thing. I always try to see the positive in anything, but same with adversity. Like, there's a reason why you're going through this, and it's usually trying to teach you something to prepare you for whatever is next, you know? Like, I needed to do some reflecting on myself and my content, and I'm happy that I took that time and I listened to myself. That's another big thing. Like, when you are feeling these emotions, like, don't ignore them, because you're going through them and that they're here for a reason. And I feel like the more you push down, the more you suppress, it's only going to build up to the point where it won't even be 2 weeks that you take off, it's a month. So when those emotions do arise, just take that extra second to reflect and listen to that little voice inside, because you could be saving yourself a whole lot of time. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys are pouring love into yourself. I hope that you guys are being intentional with yourself, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, please go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, and then I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna do this outro again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I missed you guys. It feels good to be back in front of the camera again. You know it's a good day when I got boba. You know it's a good day.